Howdy y'all. We're going to go over our intro to Photoshop lessons today. We're going to start with our parasailing lesson. So I've got it pulled up right here. Previously I showed you guys how to open up files and I kind of ended on this note. So if you want to know how to open up this file and open up this image, please refer to the previous video. Now in this one I'm going to go over some edits we're going to do to this guy who's parasailing right here. We are going to crop the image, we're going to type a message, we're going to create a border using border selection, we're going to fill in the border and that selection we just made, and then I am going to show you how to deselect it and then export your image. So here we're going to get started. The first thing we really want to do is we want to look to the bottom right hand corner down here in our layer box. You'll notice our background layer is locked. The first thing we want to do is unlock it by double clicking on it twice. So we're going to left click on this twice. So 1, 2, and there we go. Now it's become layer 0. We have full access and control over this. So we're going to go through and we're going to get started. I'm going to hit C as in Charlie to crop. Now you'll notice we have this little AI thing right here. What we're going to do is we're just going to find these 3 dots. We're going to left click on them and we're just going to hide the bar. We're going to get it out of the way. That way we don't have to deal with that popping up and being an issue for now. So I hit C for crop. You can find it in my toolbar. It's about 5 from the top. If you don't have the crop tool selected, you're going to left click and hold on this icon. And you're going to make sure you select the top one, just called the crop tool. You can see it right here. It's kind of that indentation that's highlighted. You can see our workspace has changed a little bit, and you can see these little corners and then these little handles where we're able to go through and resize and crop our image as necessary. I am going to undo this with Command Z until I'm back at, Control Z until I'm back at my original thing. Oh, I guess that's not working. Instead, we'll just use this little circle up here. We're going to click on that and we're going to cancel the current crop operation. I just wanted to kind of drag these handles so that way you guys are able to see what each of them do. So the corners are proportional to what they were beforehand, so you're able to kind of freely keep stuff looking pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a corner and I'm going to left click and drag. While I left click and drag, you're able to see this grid pop up. That's our rule of thirds. I'm just going to zoom in until my bottom right intersection of these lines is directly on our parasailer's head. And I'm going to let go and it'll show us our selection, and I'm going to go right back up here where we have this check mark, and I'm going to left click on it to signify that I have accepted my selection. Previously I had done the circle with the line through it to signify I rejected it. Instead I selected it. So I have got my image cropped. What I want to do next is I want to go through and type a message. So I want this guy to be saying something. It's very easy to do. You're going to hit the letter T on your keyboard for type. So mine took me just a moment, but it's the letter T for type. You can see it highlights over here on our toolbar. This gets our text tool out. And you want to make sure you left click and hold on it, and then you select horizontal type tool, because it lets you do a couple other ones. They're pretty cool, but we really want the horizontal type tool. It'll change our cursor icon, and then you can really click anywhere on the screen you want. I'm just going to left click over here. It's going to pull up some default words. So lorem ipsum is just like fake words. It's specifically designed for graphical designers and people who really need to see what words would look like, but really don't want to go through and have a bunch of sample text or have to type something out every time they're making a new newspaper layout or column layout or anything like that. So that's why lorem ipsum pops up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to type a message from our guy here. You guys feel free to type whatever you want. I'm just going to type, I can see my house from here. So I got that one right there. I'm just going to type, I can see my house from here. You guys are welcome to type whatever you want. You'll notice I just have some plain black text right here. It's a little hard to see, so I'm going to change it to a different color. So I've already typed it, so I need to left click and drag to highlight everything. This works like Google Docs or Word. I left click, highlight everything, and then from here I can go to the top of my screen, and then I have my toolbar right here, which lets me select a few different things. I could select different fonts. I can select the type of font I have, the size of it, whether I want it to be either sharp or crisp. This just affects the edges of the font. So my screen, it's a little pixelated, and on YouTube this is going to be really pixelated. But look at your screen, adjust these. This just kind of changes how it looks. So like how the little curves are going to look. You can change if it's aligned to the left, center, or right. I'm just doing left because that's what this is based on. And the real important one right here is this text color. So I'm going to left click on that. This lets us pick any color we want. I'm just going to pick a really primary or pastel yellow, so that way it's a very good contrast from everything else. Once you're done selecting your color, once again, you can select whatever color you want, provided you're able to see it. You're going to hit OK. And then I can see my house from here. Now there's one extra thing I'm going to do with this text. You guys are welcome to do it or not do it. It's entirely up to you. Directly to the right of our little color swatch, which let us change the color of our text, we have this little T on a hill. If we left click on that, that lets us warp the text. Or we can do some cool stuff. Or we can do like arches and then shells and whatever we want. I like the flag since it gives it a little bit of pizzazz. You can control the bend and then the distortion. Get something that looks good to you. Just make sure you're able to read your text. You hit OK, and we're in a good spot. The final thing I want to do is just position the text. So if you hover over it, you can left click and drag. But the other thing you can do is you'll notice my cursor change from this little eye. When I move down, you'll see it's now this solid black triangle with a little plus sign next to it. You can left click and drag right here. So I'm not really selecting anything, but my cursor is telling me that I am. So I can left click and drag from here and then move my text around. I'm just going to center it right on my screen. And I'm going to leave a little bit of space from the bottom because remember, we're going to add a border to this. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of space to have that border on all sides. Whenever you're happy with what your text looks like, so that's the color, what you've typed, and then the warping is we'll go all the way back up to the top, and you'll see this little check mark. We want to make sure we hit this check mark. We're committing to this, so I hit my check mark, and we're good to go. And then right here on the right side of our screen, you can see in our layer box, it's created a text layer called I can see my house from here. So we have that done. What we want to do next is we're going to make a selection for the border that we're going to add to this image. So I'm going to hit M as in Mississippi or marquee. It's the second tool typically from the top of your toolbar on the left hand side of your screen up here. You can see it being selected. Mine by default is the rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to left click and hold and make sure that's the one I have selected. It has elliptical, that's just a fancy word for saying circle or oval. And then you have single row, single column. I just want rectangular because I want to select the entire border or the entire canvas that I'm working with, and it's a rectangle, so it just makes our lives a little bit easier. How I select it is very simple. I want to select the entire image. So what I really like to do is I like to start to the upper top left. So, because remember, I'm just basing this off how I like to read stuff and then how you guys probably like to read stuff, where you like to read left to right, top down. So that's what we're going to do here. As we're going to start in the top upper left, you'll notice my cursor is a little bit to the left of the canvas, and it's a little bit above. When we're doing a selection like this, it's okay if we have excess because it's automatically going to snap to the borders of the canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by left-clicking my mouse and holding, and I'm going to drag. This entire time I am still left-clicking and holding my mouse while I drag it from the top left to the bottom right. It's a little hard to see on my screen, but if you look at the top left and the left side of the canvas, you'll notice it has these little pink lines right there. That's telling us that our marquee selection or our selection tool has snapped to the edges of the canvas, so it's like a perfect fit. I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm going to drag all the way to the bottom right. It's going to tell me that it's snapped to the other two sides of our canvas. And we can really tell that it's selecting everything because it gives us this little plus sign in the middle of our image. And that's telling us everything has been, selected. This is proportional and we're good to go. Now I can just let go of my left click button and you'll see our selection has been completed. So I have selected the entire image right here, and we're good to convert this to a border selection. We know we have a selection because if you look at the edges of our screen, you can see these little dots moving down. I like to refer to them as marching ants, and they just kind of march around the entirety of your selection. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to convert this from selecting the entire of the screen to a border selection. All we do is we just go up to select right here. We're going to go about 2/3 of the way down to modify, and we're going to go to the border option. So all I did was the select menu, modify, border, and you can see it highlighted right here. I left click on the option I want, and this is going to convert this into a border selection. So you can see width 4 pixels is going to be very small. Instead, we want to do something. I'm going to do 150 just to see what that looks like, because remember, we can always undo it. Control Z is your best friend in digital applications. So I have a width of 150. When I have the width I want to hit OK, and you can see it moved our selection in. So it created a border for us right here. Before I do anything else, I am going to want to make a new layer for our border to be on. So I'm going to go to the bottom right hand corner down here of my window. You'll see this little plus sign in a square, and since I'm hovering over it, it's showing you that it's the layers. We left click on it and you can see we have a new layer 1 that we're going to be working on. So now that I've done that, I've made my new layer with this plus sign down here. I'm going to go back to my canvas and I want to use our paint bucket tool. So I'm going to hit G as in Georgia for our paint bucket tool. Now if I try to go automatically, you'll see I have a gradient right here. It's not apparently obvious, but I have a gradient going on. I can switch to this so that way you're able to see it a little bit better. If this is what you want, that's okay. It's a very interesting effect, but it's not what I want. So I'm going to Command Z to undo this. Or sorry. I will just hit enter. Nope, I'm not going to hit enter. Instead, I'm just going to leave that and I'm going to fill over it. Actually, no, I don't have to. So this is our history right here. So our history lets us go back in time. So you hit this little 2 arrows up here. As you can see, when I was trying to undo it, sometimes Control Z doesn't work in Photoshop. It'll only undo one thing that you've done and not everything. So you have to go to the history. So the history is up here with these 2 dots. So normally it's collapsed, but when you open it up, it shows you by default it's about the last 50 things that you've done in Photoshop, and it lets you go back those past 50 things. So I'm going to go to the point in time where I made a new layer, and I'm going to go over here to my gradient tool that I was trying to use. Well, I did use, but I didn't want to use it. I wanted to use my fill tool. So I'm going to left click and hold on it. And then now I get my paint bucket or fill tool. And I'm going to left click all the way to it being selected. Then I let go. And then now I can fill in the border of my image. Now you'll notice I kind of have this black border right here. That isn't the color I wanted. Maybe I want a pastel yellow that I was working with. So I can come back over here to my color swatches, left click on the swatch, and then just change my color to whatever I want it to be. So maybe I'll make it a neon green or pastel green. Let's do pastel green. So it contrasts the yellow and the rest of the image. And then I just left click in the empty spot. By default, it'll give you this nice gradient effect. If you want to kind of make it a little more opaque, you could just left click a bunch of times until it reaches the edge of the border. I am just going to go back in time to the second one where I have my nice gradient. I will collapse my history, and then from here we are just going to export it. Now before I export it, you can see my little marching ants are still doing their thing, so I want to get rid of them, so I'm going to hit Control D on my keyboard to deselect my current selection. How I did that was fairly easy. All I did is I hit Control and then the letter D as in Dakota on my keyboard, or deselect. It's a fairly easy way to remember it. Now my image is ready for export. All I need to do here is I just need to go to my File menu. I'm going to go about halfway down to Export. And then from here we have a couple different options. Now the easy way is to just quick export as PNG, and while that works, I want to show you guys the export as option so that way you're able to use it in the future if you want to. Quick export as PNG is just a quick way of going through this with a couple presets. So I'm going to export as by left clicking on it. It's going to pull up my window and you'll see a couple of things here. So this is going to show me all my stuff that I have opened up. So we only really want to export the parasailing that we've been working on. We have our final product right here. So this is going to be what's exported. And then we have our file settings right here. The only ones we really care to change are up here in file settings. We can change the format from PNG to JPEG. It really depends on which one you prefer. You'll notice some of the stuff changes. So like JPEG, you can change the quality. Or PNG, you can have transparency in there or not. It's entirely personal preference because there's really no transparency in our image. And then below it, we're going to leave everything else default because that's fine. And then we're going to travel all the way down to this bottom blue button right here, our export button. And then we're just going to left click on it. And from here, we get to save our stuff. So this is our export as window. Oh, here we are. And so all I want to do is I want to go to my desktop. And then from my desktop, I'm just going to save it on my desktop. So mine by default is named Parasailing, but I'm just going to call it my Parasailing lesson final. So that way I know what I am looking at. So I'm going to call it Parasailing lesson final, and I'll save it right here. So I'm going to hit save. It's exported out. And then if I minimize Photoshop and Chrome, you will see my parasailing on my desktop. Now I saved it on my desktop as a final product. You guys might have folders and stuff you want to organize into. Highly recommend you do it. The more organized you are, the easier your life in this class is going to be. So that is our parasailing. I'm just going to pull it up in Photoshop right here. And hopefully you guys learned something today. Have a great day.